In this video, we're going to talk about contingencies, kind of what they are and how important they are in the process of buying and selling real estate. So when you have someone buying a house, you may be thinking as soon as you go under contract, oh, what if there's something wrong with it? Like, what if it's going to fall apart, or is this something's up? Like, we're scared. Like, what happens? Well, there's contingencies in place to help you get out of the contract and keep earnest money. So this is very important. So you have your earnest money here that you deposit when an offer's accepted, and let's just say for anything outside of the things we're going to talk about, and there's many more than these I have listed, you decide maybe you're a week before closing, you know what, I'm just not feeling this property, I don't want it anymore. Well, then that earnest money that you deposit around like maybe $1,000, $2,500, $2,000, that goes to the seller just so it basically gives them, cash for taking their property off the market for a while, depending on that closing process. So, however, let's just say that in these contingencies, it's the roadblock. Here's the earnest money, a roadblock, and we're happy continuing the process of, buying this property. So, let's just say that something came up with an inspection that it's just really like huge red flag, like, holy crap, like this thing is not looking good. We're just not really comfortable anymore. And it's something that the seller can't fix, or wouldn't want to fix. Well, you can just say, since you're in this contingency timeline, you can say, you know what, we're just, not feeling it, we're out. And you get to keep your earnest money. Another thing is insurance. So like, let's just say you get an insurance claim back from the seller, and just, holy crap, like what happened here? And you can see from that, if that doesn't make you comfortable, well, then you have a way to keep the earnest money out of the contract. Another thing, and this is a huge one right here, is the appraisal. I should almost circle this one. I don't have my green marker on me, so I'm not going to circle it because it would kind of look kind of weird. But the appraisal, this is a huge one. So let's just say that we have our house for $300,000 and the appraisal comes in at $280,000. Now, if the seller doesn't come down in price, since it's a contingency, our buyer can now get out of this contract if the seller doesn't want to come down in price, or we just can't come to agreement. Maybe the buyer closed the gap a little bit, but maybe he doesn't want to, depending on motivation, which is pretty huge. We now have a way, this roadblock here, we have a way out of the contract, keep our earnest money, and continuing our house search. Now, with all these contingencies, like the appraisal, it kind of, the seller, depending on their motivation too, they might be tied up, like, okay, something came up with an inspection, maybe there's leaking pipes, so we got to fix that. Because it's going to come up again in the next inspection, so we better get that done. Or the appraisal, like, you know what, the next appraisal is probably going to be pretty close to the same thing, so we might as well just come down in price. But they may not be motivated to do that. They might just be putting out there and saying, you know what, if it sells, it sells, if it doesn't, it doesn't, and continue on their journey. So that's one way to gauge that. Another thing in the contingency is a property disclosure. Basically, it's like a summary of, a lot of things in the property, and if the seller knows of any defects and whatnot. So if the seller knows that there's something wrong with it, it's in the property disclosure, and we have a conversation about that, and the buyer just isn't feeling comfortable, or maybe the seller doesn't want to make an adjustment, well, now we can get out of the contract, keep our earnest money, and like I said, continue on our journey. Another one that people don't really talk about is an HOA document. So maybe you're going to buy a condo, or maybe a townhouse is in this HOA, and you just, you have pets, you have cats, dogs, and some of them don't have pets. So now, you get under contract, and you're looking at all the documents from the HOA, and hey, we can't have pets here. That's huge for us. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're out. Nothing you can do on that one, but it just, prevents like little tiny things that come up maybe you don't even think about, and it's just a way to ensure that the property you're buying, is the one that you want. And there's many more contingencies. These are just some of the common ones that show up. There's a bunch more than this, but hopefully you guys found this valuable. You know what? I'm gonna circle it anyways. If you made it this far, that's an important one. Maybe it doesn't look too bad, but Thank you guys for watching. If you want me to dive deep more into like maybe an inspection video or another appraisal video, I can go ahead and do that. But hopefully this makes sense, because contingencies are a huge process in buying and selling real estate. So thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.